That's actually really interesting. That's super fascinating. So I've never thought about conspiracies that way. The more I spend time talking with people like you in the Jungian world, and the more books I read, the more I come to see that actually everything is kind of the same kind of thing. It's happening. We just classify it. We classify it over here as government and politics, and over here we classify it as religion and spirituality. But it's all these psychological projections that we're using. And so when you talk about conspiracies that way, I go, oh yeah, of course. Like, um, it reminds me of when kind of the flat Earth conspiracy first got big. I had never heard about it, and then all of a sudden there was a documentary about it on Netflix, and I realized like, oh, there are all these people online who have connected over this idea. And at the time, I probably just thought, oh, this is just a way for them to find a community because they probably feel outcast, amongst their physical community around them. But if they go online, they can find other people who will accept them as long as they all believe the same thing. And I think that's probably true. But it just struck me now that as you're saying this, that in the same way that a religion can be a mirror to the internal orientation of the psyche, or a political party can be the same. It can be a mirror of how the psyche has been organized. A conspiracy like this could also be a reflection of the internal psyche, the orientation of the psyche, what it has and what it lacks. And then it's projecting that outward. And so then now I'm sitting here going, oh, geez, like to think about the symbology of a conspiracy such as flat Earth and what that would tell you about the internal psyche. It's pretty fascinating, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there is so much to explore exactly on a symbolic level. And that's what George and I proposed. Like, let's look at the conspiracy theories in a sort of what is symbolically happening and how this symbol is being reduced to something concrete. How it is a literal, right? Like, say QAnon theory, when they say, well, children are being abused and tortured, and hormone is being extracted from their brain when they're suffering, this adrenochrome, this sort of a magical formula that gives you immortality, right? That's what they believe. That's an ancient idea of la elixir of life, right? This is the idea of lapis philosophorum. This is the sort of the medicine or panacea of something that gives you immortality and the power. So they're talking about the self, actually. That's what Jung finds in different religions. And now you think, why there is this suffering child? What does that have to do with that? And suffering child, what is symbolically, what is being projected here? Is that an inner child that experienced certain suffering that needs healing? And now who has the healing, right? They have the healing. Those Democrats are having access to it, and those evil Soros people or whoever that is, who has the power, who they are unconsciously perhaps admiring or feeling that they have something they don't, so they feel we have to get it back. But we don't get it back on a symbolic level, on a sort of an individuation journey. We got to actually really do it on a sort of a physical way, right? We have to find that pizza place where it's actually happening and free those children. And so that's the fallacy, right? Like, that's what dark religion is. Like, has sort of the right idea. The symbol is there, but it's just not being understood symbolically, but it's rather just projected or taken as a concrete happening.